You're listening to BambinoBabble's story. Once upon a time, in a lush green meadow, there lived a tiny creature named Buzz. Buzz was a little fly, and he was known for being quite adventurous. He had many friends in the meadow, including Buttercup the butterfly, Hopper the grasshopper, and Bella the ladybug. One sunny morning, as the golden rays of the sun bathed the meadow in warmth, Buzz decided to embark on a grand adventure. He had heard stories about a magnificent bull named Bruno who lived at the far end of the meadow. Bruno was enormous, with sleek black fur and mighty horns, and he was known to be the largest and strongest creature around. Buzz was intrigued by the tales of Bruno's strength and size. He fluttered his translucent wings and buzzed over to Buttercup's favorite flower, a radiant daisy. "Buttercup," he exclaimed excitedly, "I'm going to visit Bruno the bull today. I want to see just how big and strong he really is." Buttercup, who was gently sipping nectar from the daisy, looked at Buzz with concern. "Buzz," she cautioned, "Bruno is indeed big and strong, but he can be quite unpredictable. You should be careful around him." However, Buzz was not one to heed warnings. He waved his tiny arms and zipped away toward the other side of the meadow, where Bruno was known to graze. As he approached Bruno, he was astounded by the bull's immense size. Bruno was peacefully munching on a tuft of sweet grass, completely unaware of Buzz's presence. Buzz couldn't contain his excitement. He landed on Bruno's broad back and exclaimed, "Wow, Bruno! You're the biggest and strongest creature I've ever seen." Bruno, feeling a ticklish sensation on his back, swatted his tail gently, trying to shoo away whatever was bothering him. Buzz, however, thought Bruno's tail swat was a playful gesture. He misinterpreted the bull's actions and continued to explore Bruno's back. But Bruno's patience was wearing thin. He swatted his tail again, a bit more vigorously this time. Buzz was tossed into the air and landed safely on a nearby leaf. He giggled, thinking Bruno was playing a game of fly and catch. Buzz decided to push his luck further. He zoomed back onto Bruno's back, landing near one of the bull's enormous horns. This time, Bruno was less amused. With a sudden flick of his head, he sent Buzz tumbling through the air. Buttercup, who had been watching from a distance, gasped in horror. She fluttered over to where Buzz had landed and found him a little shaken but thankfully unhurt. "Buzz," Buttercup scolded gently, "I told you to be careful. Bruno is strong, and he might not understand our games." Buzz finally realized the truth in Buttercup's words. He had been so caught up in his adventure that he hadn't considered Bruno's perspective. The little fly felt embarrassed and remorseful. Meanwhile, Bruno continued to graze, seemingly unfazed by the encounter. Buzz approached him, this time keeping a safe distance. "I'm sorry, Bruno," he buzzed apologetically, "I didn't mean to bother you. I've learned my lesson." Bruno, who was wise in his own way, simply nodded and continued to munch on the sweet grass. Buzz returned to his friends, and this time, he had a different story to share. He told them about the importance of understanding others and being respectful of their space. He realized that even the mightiest of creatures deserved respect and consideration. From that day forward, Buzz continued to have adventures in the meadow, but he approached them with newfound wisdom and respect for his fellow creatures, both big and small. And whenever he saw Bruno grazing peacefully in the distance, he made sure to give the great bull plenty of space, knowing that respect and kindness were essential in their vibrant meadow community. And so, the little fly named Buzz learned that in a world where creatures came in all shapes and sizes, it was not the size of an individual that mattered but the kindness and consideration in their hearts.